The next opening act, Icky and Ichabod. This was going to be a problem if the strike team couldn't take a type green out by surprise. Their contingency was overwhelming firepower. Alright. So yes. Icky and Ichabod. Suburbs of Salem, Oregon, 1988. It was raining, but only gently, the sound of it falling on her umbrella no more than a soothing pitter-patter. The air was cool and crisp, the sky grey but not dark, and water droplets hung from the pine branches like glass baubles, while songbirds fluffed themselves in the natural shallow. This is a pretty little neighborhood, don't you think? He asked as she strolled down the sidewalk, the violet coloring of her face subdued to avoid drawing notice to her isomorphic nature. It's still humdrum territory. Don't get too comfortable. Manny replied, gruffly, a scarf and hat hiding his upside-down face. Oh, you're so grumpy. You should take me scouting with you more often. I've got better people skills. With my help, you probably wouldn't have to stuff so many kids in sacks. She joked, giving him a playful jab and yawn. I do not stuff kids into sacks. He claimed, though his guilty tone made it clear that statement was only technically true. Look, if you can talk this kid into coming with us willingly, super. But remember, the main reason I brought you here is backup. Child reality benders are unpredictable, and we can't risk attracting attention while we're out in the open like this. Don't worry. I'm great with kids, especially magic kids. She assured him. I'll turn this girl into a 5-star act in no time. They turned a corner and came up a smaller park with a lone girl riding along the play equipment, talking to herself in a loud, pontificating voice. At first, Icky thought it was odd that the girl was playing in the rain, but then realized that it wasn't raining inside of the park. That's her? She smiled. That's her. He nodded. I'll let you take the lead. The two of them walked towards the front gates and saw that they were locked. A sign had been hung reading, Royal Kingdom of Queen Sophie. Go away. Inside the park was littered with countless toys and candy wrappers, buoyant balloons and bubbled up and down, and a fountain full of chocolate milk. It's like a little clown alley in there. Icky smirked. Excuse me, may we speak with Queen Sophie, please? Who dares intrude upon the greatest sorcerer queen in all the land? The queen demanded, marching towards the entrance with a plastic staff in hand. She was a redhead, maybe about 8 years old, and looked like she hadn't had a bath for some time. Her sparkling tutu and Care Bear t-shirt was covered in dirt and chocolate, and quite possibly other brown substances as well. Just a humble circus performer, Your Majesty, and her companion, Icky replied with a polite courtesy. You'll kneel if you don't wish to face my wrath. Sophie frightened, followed by a loud burp. Icky humoured her without hesitation, but Mimi and Granny had a tad more reluctant. I'd said kneel, Fullerly. Just what we need, another high-maintenance reality bender.
he murmured as he dropped to one knee.
Now explain why you have interrupted my eternal playtime.
Sophie ordered.
Of course, Your Majesty. We're from a community of magical people like yourself, and I'm the only magical girl in the world.
Sophie screamed, partly in pride, partly in pain.
Do you really think that?
He asked.
Is that why you're all alone in there? I think people are scared of me. Kids, my parents, even the police and soldiers in the black ran from me.
She explained.
It's better if I just stay here.
Manny pulled down his scarf to reveal his upside-down face. Sophie eyed them both with cautious optimism.
You're really magic?
She asked softly.
Yes, and we're from a place full of magic people.
Icky told her.
A place where people won't be scared of you, where you can have friends again, where you'll be safe and loved and learn how to become even better at magic. Have you heard of the X-Men? It's kind of like that, except that we're not superheroes. Just a circus. Are you a clown?
Sophie asked, her eyes wide with wonder.
I am. Do you like clowns?
Icky asked with a wide smile. The girl nodded.
Well, if you were to come back with us, you could see the most talented clowns in all the worlds. We could help you with your magic. If you're really good, we might even...
A bullet whizzed through one side of Sophie's skull and out the other. As her body hit the ground, all her balloons floated away. Her chocolate fountain ran dry, and the rain fell unhindered inside the box.
No!
Icky screamed as she broke through the gates and rushed to Sophie's side, cradling her in her arms.
Sophie, sweetie, wake up. Please wake up, Sophie.
She plied her magic as best as she could. There was nothing she could do.
Scoop her up and let's go. It's that you don't see. We've got to get out of here.
Manny shouted. Icky glanced at the crumbled bullet on the ground and saw that it was silver-tipped beryllium bronze with a layer of telekill and an iron collar, with a warning microgrids engraved into each layer. It was unjust global coalition, but the Ichiban campaign. They had killed tens of thousands of reality benders over the decades. Mostly like this, a sniper shooting down a child before they had any chance to fight back, or grow up to become a serious threat, to becoming anything. Icky howled in rage, pulling a tetherball post out of the ground for her weapon. She sped off in the direction the bullets had come from.
Veronica, no! It's suicide, Veronica!
Manny's increasingly distant voice pleaded. As enraged as she wasn't suicidal. She kept at top speed, never ran straight for more than a couple of seconds, and waited behind any cover she could find. She couldn't manipulate those bullets with her telekinesis. If enough of them got inside of her, that impeded her magic too much for her to heal. Single shot to the brain or heart would kill her for sure. This was going to be a problem. The strike team couldn't take a tank train out by surprise. The contingency was overwhelming firepower. Icky headed for the highest point along the bullet's trajectory. On top of the small hill, she saw the outline of 10 cloaked Cheeto strike team members. The rain giving away the position, the sniper was still trying to get the lock on her. The rest of them were clearly holding assault rifles at the ready. She pulled out a deck of trick cards and threw them all at the strike team before leaping down a manhole into the sewers. She knew their battle dress had some reality anchoring and anti-thaumaturgical protections as their bullets did, so she didn't aim for them directly. Instead, all 54 cards hit the pavement surrounding the strike team with so much kinetic energy that enormous amounts of concrete shrapnel went flying in all directions at deadly velocity. She heard the men screaming in surprise, pain, and in anger. At least one was still in good enough condition to work others at the rest. While she was running a bit, she incapacitated at least a few of them. They'd have their guns pointed at any manholes or sewage grates around them, so she headed to the next manhole that still gave her a clear line of sight. She lifted it just a little and saw 6 remaining strike team members standing in defensive back-to-back formation, visible from either being covered in concrete debris or their stealth units having been damaged. She threw the manhole cover with so much force that it decapitated one of the goggles and likely killed the member directly behind him. She rapidly ducked under the gunfire of the remaining strike team but made no attempt to hide. After only seconds of running, she heard the rifles sputter impotently as they exhausted the magazines.
Reload! Reload!
The commander shouted, but Eki had already removed him for the kill. She struck him across the head with a tetherball post, scoring yet another decapitation. It seemed appropriate given the name Ichiban. The last 3 reached for her sidearms, but she dropped to the ground and took out their legs, with one sweep at the post and impaled it through the chest of one of them, kicked off the head of another, and jumped to the third and began mercilessly pounding his head to the ground with her fist.
Fuck you, you evil fucking kid killing, evil fucking genocidal, evil fucking Nazi, evil fucking bastards. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
She screamed until there was no score left and she was just punching the pavement. She hung her head and began to sob, but then heard a groan coming from behind her. One of the strike team members, the second one to have gotten hit by the manhole cover, was still alive. His visor had been shattered, and Iggy could now see the man's eyes, one blue and one green. At that, she noticed Orchid. She pulled the tetherball post out of the corpse's collapsed chest and swung up the tension of collapsing the survivor's skull. The moment it made contact, it turned to sand in her hand. Taken aback, she stepped away from the man, unsure of what just happened.
Did you do that?
She asked softly. The man took off his now useless helmet, shaking dust and sand off his blonde hair. The 2 of them quickly became stained with crimson streaks as the rain around them turned to blood, and she had no doubt it was his doing.
Traitor!
She screamed, lunging to tear out his trachea. Without moving, he shifted out of her path, as if he had never been there at all. With a single motion of his fist, he called down a bolt of lightning to end her for the good. True to form, Icky merely spasmed with an illuminated skeleton, and survived nothing worse than some singed hair and clothes.
Well, that's a fuss.
The man muttered.
What's it gonna take to put you down, Jugs?
He reached for his sidearm, only to find it wasn't there. Icky had snatched it as she ran past him and was now aiming it straight at him. She fired knowing he was powerless against the magic tech bullets as she was. She had taken him by surprise. This might have worked, but instead the bullet rain ran before him, instantly congealed into a gel wall nearly 2 feet thick, more than enough to stop the bullets. Screaming in frustration, she threw the gun down and jumped over the wall, only to find that the man was gone, or rather, he now stood where she had been a month ago, smoking a cigarette.
You know, I really, really fucking hate it when you freaks make me use my own abomination against you.
He said.
It's just so fucking hypocritical. I prefer to think of myself as a man of integrity.
She charged at him again, this time slipping on the blood it congealed around her and struck her to the ground, constructing around her torso like an anaconda. She couldn't summon enough strength to break free, nor enough magic to overpower whatever it was she was doing. It was doing to her. It was getting harder to believe.
It should taken the bullet, sweet cheeks. This isn't gonna be pleasant.
There was still one thing she could do. As much as she hated being a damsel in distress, it was definitely preferable to being dead.
Hey,
She croaked out.
have you ever heard of the man with an upside-down face at the Circus of the Disquieting?
The man with the right-up face scoffed at the nonsensical question, but went pale as he recognized the feeling of something foreign probing around inside his mind.
Hello, friends.
Whispered a voice with no actual sound.
Then he's heard about you.
Icky smiled. Info of hazard. She exposed him to some kind of info hazard. His heart rate shot up as he tried to think of what to do, and he wasn't prepared for this kind of threat. The man with an upside-down face was inside of his head, looking for anything that he could use against him. And it didn't take him long to find it. The man suddenly the goddess Francis lived in constant fear of.
No, that wasn't true. He loved Lily. He knew he loved Lily.
The man saw the constant disrespect of the unending criticisms, the vicious insults.
Because he wasn't good enough for her. If he could just be a person she deserved, she would be nicer.
The man saw the attacks, the punishments, the mutilations.
His fault. His fault. It's all his fault.
The man even saw when she'd raped him and did exactly what he had always feared if anyone ever found out. He laughed. The laughter of the man with the upside-down face echoed through Francis' skull. It was all he could hear. The man laughed at Francis' helplessness, and his weakness was his failure at being a man. The man laughed at how pathetic Francis was beneath his tough guile facade. The man laughed and laughed and laughed until Francis' mind was nothing else but the laughter and the deafening, ego-destroying thoughts. The rain had turned to water again. Akira was free, and the treacherous Gaka had collapsed into a fatal procession on the ground, blanketed by an impenetrable onto a kinetic cocoon. He was rocking back and forth while clutching his head and sobbing, begging Lily not to hurt him.
Icky moved and smashed the cocoon to finish him, but heard Minnie's voice in her mind telling her to leave him be and run. As much as he hated to leave a goggle breathing, he had nearly killed her. It was probably for the best. To take a chance to escape, but she had it. Even so, she spat on him before she'd run. Several hours later, Icky knelt over the shallow grave she and Millie had dug for Sophie, and knelt to a natural forest. She had transfigured the boulder into a proper tombstone. It read, Here lies Queen Sophie, age unknown but far too young, victim of Ichiban genocide. May she find peace in what lies beyond this world, and may her loss forever remind us why we fight against the book burners. Sleep sweetly, Your Majesty. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Icky wept. Many knelt beside her and put his arm around her, wiping her tears as she lay his hand against them. It's nice. It's a nice headstone. I'm sure she would have liked it, he said softly. Even though I don't approve of you risking your life like that. It's nice you were able to avenge her, and that there are 9 less book burners in the world.
We won't be able to kill any more freaks.
What about the last one? The traitor.
She asked. "You won't remember us. I took that away." And he replied, "But he was too powerful for me to do any lasting damage. I hope we don't ever cross paths with him again. We have some serious issues."
I don't give a shit what his excuse is. He's a monster.
He hissed, but did not done things else to say.
Thanks for saving my ass back there. I owe you one.
You'd have done the same for me. And he nodded. "Well, we should get going. If we're not back at the circus soon, Fuller might send Stretchy after us."
Icky nodded, softly kissing her fingertips and touching them to the gravestone. The freak and the clown rose to their feet, leaving the swiftly yet lovingly made grave in peace amongst the dripping pine needles and gently falling rain.